Hi friends, welcome to episode 45 of Last Stitch Effort. My name is Pacasha and this is my knitting podcast about using up my stash and trying not to add to it. It's been a long time since I've recorded. A lot of things going on, keeping me busy, and good things, bad things, life things, whatever. But anyway, I'm back now. I'm gonna try to catch you up on the things that I've been doing, and hopefully you can catch up with me in the comments. Missed hearing from you guys, so yeah, it's been a while. Feel free to always, like, I haven't really been active on Instagram. I was gonna say add me on Instagram, and yeah, I haven't really been updating anybody there either. So yeah, anyway, missed you guys. And let's just move on because I have a lot of FOs. I think that I haven't been super inspired to knit much. However, my pile of FOs says otherwise. So without further ado, let's just move on to the first FO. So the first thing I want to talk about is a test knit that I was a part of. Now, it's been quite warm here in New Mexico lately, so a lot of my knitwear is kind of folded and put away. I haven't really been wearing much, but this one I might actually pull back out because we have had some cooler weather, especially in the evenings. But this is the Audrey and Unst vest by Gudrun Johnston, and I used Jamieson of Shetland's, Spindrift, in the color Cosmos. I don't know. I did the regular, like, one length hem. I did not do the high-low. The next one will be a high-low though. And I did the I-cord edging, which is a super neat finish on this. It was just absolute perfection. And I know this color isn't cooperating, but it does have this nice little lace feature at the collar area and these super cute little buttonholes along the edge. And I used Merchant and Mills buttons that I got from Farmer's Daughter. Anyway, I loved knitting this. I got gauge after 2 swatches, but I still chose a size that was with more ease than Gudrun recommended, mainly because I'm just not comfortable in my body, but that's my problem, not anybody else's. And the next one that I make, and there will be a next one, will be probably in a size or 2 smaller and with smaller needles too, just to get, I don't know, like this fabric is fabulous. Like, I love how it bloomed, so I really don't want to mess with the fabric too much. But I think maybe row gauge wise, because it ended up being a lot longer, even though I swatched and watched my swatch. Yeah, I think I just want to kind of bring it in a little bit more, or maybe I'm just not afraid of it actually fitting me with slightly more negative ease. Not too worried about it so much anymore as I get older. So that's FO number 1, and I love it. Super excited to have that. Now, also, I had been working on, this thing is massive, a Riggies cardigan, once again by Gudrun Johnston. This is from her Grand Shetland Adventure Knits, a book that she did with Mary Jane Mucklestone. And it is this garter stitch, massive, oh, I can't even show you. This is kind of sad. It's just this huge, like, almost house cardigan in a nice garter. And it just kind of hangs on your shoulders, and it's like a big comfy hug. And it's got a nice rolled border, and I think I did size number 2. So it has a lot of positive ease, but not as much, I think, as some people's. It's a bit longer on me too, just because, you know, I'm super short. So it was really fun to knit. Kind of once you got those first rows and you got the rhythm in your head, not really the pattern, because I mean, it's just garter, but once you know how to do your decreases or whatever, it's just a super relaxing comfort knit, and it makes a very relaxed and comfortable project too. And this is Peace Fleece DK in olive root. And I think the pattern calls for a worsted or an Aran. I don't know, possibly DK, but I chose Peace Fleece DK. I think Amy Beth from Fat Squirrel Fibers, she uses it a lot and she says that it blooms quite a bit, so she uses DK in place of, or this was several years ago. It may, I don't remember, but I know she said you don't need as much as you think you will. Because it just, so I felt really confident in using a DK for this pattern, and it blooms perfectly. This yarn is amazing. Probably a little bit more rustic than a lot of people could deal with, but I knew this would be like an outer layer on just about anything, so it doesn't really bother me. And I mean, this yarn is fabulous. It's so cool. And it is a discontinued colorway, but Peace Fleece is currently working on restocking their tried and true colors, and they have some amazing ones. So if you want a good durable it's a yarn that has a purpose, like it has a social and economic and ecological purpose in this world, and I think it's good to support companies that do nice things. And it's super affordable considering they've done a great job of making a fabulous product with great value. So that is the next FO. Oh, you guys. So we have a baby coming in the family, and I'm a little bit behind. This should have been mailed a while ago. So I made this. This is Autumn Leaves by Vicky Vanderkar, I believe is her name. I'll have everything listed in the show notes below, and I won't have links. I'll just have what it is, so you can look it up in Ravelry or online, however you prefer. And yes, I know about buttons and baby things, but they're very secure. I will send a warning, and it can be worn without buttons. They'd be easy to snip off, but they are secured. Anyway, it's just so cute. And then I made Newborn Booties by, I think it's Priscilla Uloho. So this baby is going to be born in the hottest part of the summer in a very hot state in the United States. So I made the 6 to 9 month type sizes. So I'm hoping that this works well for the baby when it's a little bit colder. It won't get too cold, but I also use Lion Brand Coboo, and this is Mauve. And both the sweater and the booties came from one ball of yarn. So that was a nice little surprise. Okay. Next FO. It's crazy how much I knit, really. So this is Feel the Bern. I think it's Caitlin Hunter. I've made one of these before, and just the sizing was absolutely insane, and I used like different like kinds of yarn. It was basically just a scrappy project, but this time I used Knit Pick Swish and some red, I don't know, that's bad, I can't even think, and Spindrift. Not Spindrift, Spincycle. So I got the Spincycle was a gift from my friend Alicia. And it's Rosy Maple, I think was the color, and I think it's not Dream State, it's the other one. Anyway, I got this Swish also to work with that to make what's the name? Andrea Mowry's like boxy one with the quilt squares on it. I can't remember the name of it. And I have tried to make that dang thing like 4 or 5 times. I've just had a lot of problems like getting gauge, and then my color work doesn't do well with like geometric like boxes, you know, like when you have straight lines versus other like things moving. Like I have a really hard time with that, the straight lines, mainly the vertical versus horizontal. Keeping that, I mean, I keep it super loose. I don't understand why it always looks bad even after blocking. So that pattern, I can't remember the name of it. That really makes me mad because I love it so much, but it's never worked out for me. We'll move on. So the yarn has just been sitting there and staring at me and making me feel kind of guilty, and it's beautiful. And I had this skirt that was kind of in the colors, and I just really wanted to do this, so that's what I did. I did this instead. So I like it. It's kind of, I don't know, it'll match my outfit. That's kind of all I really care about. So yeah, and it's cropped also. Yeah, very quick, very easy. I love it. I will think about my friend. I will think about nice things and not be stressed because the other sweater never worked for me. This one did. So moving on. Now, this is kind of out of hand. I have wanted a black ranunculus for years now. Ranunculus is a favorite pattern of mine. They're quick to knit. They're easy for, like, I like to make them cropped because they fit with skirts and dresses that I like to wear, in the silhouette that I like to wear, whatever. Like that's, it's just exactly what I want. And I like to keep my arms covered to a certain point just because preference. And it's perfect for that. And I knew I wanted a black one for a long time. So I did that. So it's cropped, kind of impossible to see, but, and there's a million mistakes in it, but you know, it's black, you can't really see. So I have a black ranunculus. I have a red one, I have a blue one, like, yeah. It's a pattern that I will continually use. They're super quick to knit also, and easy as long as you're paying attention. But I guess that's, you know, safe to say for just about everything. And that's Drops Charisma? I don't know, the cotton linen one. So yeah. All right, on to some smaller things, I think. This is a teacher's present that did not get given to the teacher in time, so hopefully we will see him at some point. This is a cool ass hat by Jared Flood, and I use Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Tweed in Lighthouse Heather. I'm not going to put it on because it is a gift for another person. It does have hair on it because I made it. That's just the nature of my crafting. It's kind of hard to see like the cool pattern on camera, but in real life it's pretty neat. So yeah, so a little beanie for a very much loved and appreciated teacher. I mean, we live in a small town, so we run into people all the time, so it's not really an issue. It will get to him eventually. She also has another teacher that I had planned on knitting for, but that didn't work out. But I see her all the time, so I'll just hopefully make a push and get her something somewhat soon. Okay, so I have some more finished objects, but I kind of don't know what I've shown you and what I haven't, but it looks like maybe I haven't shown you any of these. Except for one. So some of you may know my daughter's going off to college, and I'm making her like a box full of socks that she can take with her, but I will probably, in reality, I'll just like mail her a pair so that she's getting mail, and that's exciting and fun. So this was the first pair. This is the Log Cabin socks. I've shown these before, but they're just like worsted weight, huge, like comfy socks. But I don't think I've shown you any of these, except maybe that I was working on them. So I'm just gonna go, I don't even know. I thought I had, it's been a long time, I guess, since I've done this, but. So these are Neville socks. These are now finished. I think maybe I was working on them maybe last time. The colorway is Neville by Nomadic Yarns. She doesn't do the Harry Potter colorways anymore, but I had an old ball of this, so I knit up these socks. And I don't even know what the next one's finished were. I think maybe this pair. This is Petty Harbor by, who is it? Raina Curtis. And this yarn is Sestra Helena by Plank and Stella. And so this is, yeah, Petty Harbor. And I don't know that she sells this colorway anymore. It's based on Orphan Black, which was one of my favorite shows. So I made this pair for her. And then everybody knows by now that I like to use up every little bit of things. So I had a bit of Sestra Helena left over. And so I made another pair, but with black contrast. Or not black, it's gray. It's just dark gray. Still didn't use up all the pink. I just have a little bit left though, so that's okay. And then I don't even know where to start. So we at spring break we traveled, and I finished the first pair of pink socks while I was there. We went to Arizona, and then on the way home, I had finished my socks and I was kind of stressed because we were driving through some pretty severe dust storms, and so I was just kind of making stuff up and not really paying attention and whatever. But I did this pair out of leftover. This is Knit Picks Stroll Tweed and I don't know, Barn or something like that. This is Parsnip by Orange Flower Yarns. And I did the Mercury socks by Kim Drotar, but I kind of got distracted by how bad the driving conditions were. Not that I was driving, but because I am a very active and annoying, probably, passenger princess. So I only did like one repeat, and then I did another row, and then so it just looks kind of weird, but whatever. And then this is Dill Heather Stroll Tweed. And then I had just like the teeniest little amount, but I'd run out of this. I didn't have quite enough, so I had to pull it back and just do the green for this pair, which is fine. Nobody's gonna see that, and I love using up the little bits. So this one's completely gone now, so that's exciting. And I think the green is almost completely gone. Yeah, it was a good use of scraps. Okay, the next one I think that I finished. These are the Yarrow Rib socks. Oh, this is gonna be crazy. This is a Nancy Bush pattern. I think it's in Vintage Socks or something like that. The colorway, this is Knitter's Nightmare, Yarn and Fibers, Slime and Snails. And it's just a yarn. It's just a rib that's, I think it's 3 by 1 by 1 by 1. Yeah, so it's 3 knits and then 2 pearls surround another little knit. And then I think yeah, and then you kind of twist it after you don't twist it, you just start it differently. So the cuff and the body sock is a little bit different, but it still looks really nice. I think it's a bit too busy of a yarn, but I really wanted to use up this yarn, and I think it's really pretty, and I've used quite a bit of it for other projects in the past, so I'm just using up all those like 75% balls of yarn that I have left, or half a ball or whatever. So that's what these are. And then I used Gnome Acres Sparkle Gnome, which sadly they are no longer dying. This is Birdie Bots, so these are her Every Flavor socks. And so that I can't believe I haven't shown you any of these because I feel like I've been working on these for months now, and I kind of have, but that's what I have in the box so far. But as we move on to whips, I will show you some more. Okay. Let's see. I might as well do that right now. I have a lot of stuff, guys. Like, this is kind of a lot. I won't do that. This is my little sock bag. Okay, so whips. I am still working on socks for my daughter. I'm just going to do as many as I feel like doing, really. This is Desert Vista Dye Works. This colorway was based on the cover of Ready Player One. And so I'm doing some stripy socks for my kiddo. And this is some Ficalana Arvetta that I'm using just for the heels, just so I don't break up the stripes too much. And I'm really close to decreasing on this. This is the first one. This is the first one of this one. So I'm working on that. And then, oh, when I don't use a pattern for plain socks. It's just 60 stitches, a heel flap, and then I usually do my decreases along the bottom of the foot instead of the ankle, just because I like the way that that feels and wears, and it's fun to knit. So then I have another pair. This, I already have one of the socks without the ends woven in. And this is yarn that I picked up in Albuquerque at the yarn shop on Nob Hill or whatever it is. This is Laine du Nord, I don't know, Infinity sock. I don't know, that's kind of blurry to me, but I don't have my glasses on. So, oop, and I dropped it. So this is the first sock. It looks so much better in real life. Like, these colors are ridiculous, but it doesn't burn your eyeballs out so much. It's much more pleasing in real life. So this is my standard sock pattern that I do. I haven't clipped or woven in the ends anyway. And the second one, I started the second one, and I just finished the ribbing on the second one. And I'm going to watch a movie tonight, so this will be my project for that. So I'll probably get to the heel flap tonight. That'll be cool. And so that's for Nio too. I don't know that she wasn't maybe as impressed with this color, or if she was just feeling like, because I said, do you like this color? And I don't know if she thought maybe I liked it and wanted to keep them, but I don't know. We'll mail them to her if she doesn't like them. She doesn't have to wear them. Okay. That's not all of my whips, but 2 pairs of socks so far. I am also making my daughter a sweater. This is the Snaravo by Gudrun Johnston. This is from Shetland Trader Volume 2, I believe. And it's just like a twisted rib, like body and sleeves, and then it has this lace panel that goes down the front and the back. So it is like very open and lacy, and it's kind of hard to show, but I'm only just to the point where I may be able to separate for the sleeves. I need to get her to try this on, and we just haven't had a chance yet. So I am using Premier Yarns Stitch Please and All Bats Are Off. So just a nice cool gray, French gray. And that's going really well. I'm really enjoying knitting that. And I am also, everything I'm knitting is for my daughter right now, because she's a grown-up and she's leaving me for college. leaving us for college. It's not just about me. So I'm making her a blanket. This is the Nectar blanket by Isolde Teague, and you make a bunch of these panels. I am using, I've talked about this before, so I'm sorry if you're bored about hearing this, whatever. I'm using this, it is like a acrylic, but I mean, it's going to college, so it's going to get all kinds of grody stuff on it. So Curiosity, King Cole, I think. Is it King Cole? Yeah, King Cole Curiosity Double Knitting DK. So it's like these grays, cool colors with some pink. And so you make a whole bunch of these hexagons, and they're all from various parts of the ball, so there's varying amounts of color changing. None of these seem to really change color too much, but there are some pieces that have. They're not at the top. So anyway, yeah, so that's my other knitting project. Work in progress. I also have been doing some spinning. So I had a long-term spin that I just kind of took off the wheel because I needed a bit of a break. I needed like a palette cleanser, and we had a Renaissance fair here in town, and usually it's really hard to get yarn or fiber anywhere. Like there's not a lot of like festivals around here for that sort of thing. You'd have to drive several hours. But we had this dyer kind of close to me, about 2.5 hours away, and she had some braids at this festival. I don't think she was there, but they had her braids. So this is some Corriedale by Quillen Fiber Arts from Las Cruces, and I will have her information down below too. But this is a nice Corriedale that I picked up, and I got 8 ounces, and those are just the singles spun up. Kind of doing a thicker one. I think I'm gonna do a ply of like a plain spring green color that I got when I was in New Zealand. That's also Corriedale, and I might ply it with that, or I may just ply these together and then ply the green, and I don't know, see what happens. But anyway, been working on that. And then I think that's really all I have to talk about, because that's kind of a lot. I would love to say I haven't been buying yarn. However, I did have some very intentional purchases, I should say. I am quite distraught that Brooklyn Tweed is no longer making yarn. So I did get some Loft and Shelter and some last minute scrambling. And I don't regret it, because I know it's a good yarn and it'll hold up, and I like to knit with it. And the Loft especially works well with like color work, and I do like to do color work, and I do plan on doing more color work. So I don't feel guilty about that. I feel like that's when your tools are of such a good quality that it makes the experience fabulous. That's fantastic to me. That's what I'm going for. So yeah, it does suck that I have to add more yarn to this, but it's okay. It doesn't suck that bad. I'm just gonna, mainly I'm putting this out here because I don't want it to put off this project. Oh God, I'm gonna move everything if I do that. I feel like sometimes if you say things out loud, it kind of manifests that it's gonna happen. So I got a D-stash from Skeins of Dreams here on YouTube. I picked up her Yell cardigan. Like, I don't know if it's a kit, but it's all the yarn to make a Yell cardigan. And it's all beautiful Jamiesons. And I mean, it is the original colors, so I don't have to worry about like substitutions or trying to come up with my own thing. I mean, I've wanted a Yell cardigan by Marie Wallen, by the way, since I saw it. Like the moment I saw it, I knew that I needed that project at some point. And buying all of that yarn at once would have been very, very difficult in many ways for me. So I kind of just put it off, and I collect a few skeins here and there, but I kind of just grab skeins that I like the color versus actually like planning and thinking about things. So when this came up, it just had to be mine. So I got this box of yarn to make my yellow cardigan eventually. I think appropriately I will start this like right when my daughter goes off to college. I feel like that would be kind of a meaningful time. I should have most of her projects, maybe not the blanket, but her projects kind of in the bag and off with her, or, you know, a plan to distribute them anyway. And so I feel like I could work on this without, I don't know, it could just be my empty nest project. And I don't know. I mean, I don't really have any plans for anything else right now. This is all I can think about is this cardigan, but all I can work on are my daughter's projects, and that's fine. I don't mind. I'm not complaining about that. Because I actually do enjoy like both of those, the nectar and the Snaravo. It's actually quite fun to knit both of those, so I'm enjoying them. I don't have anything else to say. This was kind of a lot, so we'll just leave it at that. Anyway, I hope that you're doing well. I hope you've been able to do something crafty and creative. I feel like that's the antidote to the darker things that are happening around us in this world. So, yeah. Thank you for being part of my heart and my community and my creative process. And I appreciate all of you out there. Even if you're not leaving a comment, even if there's no evenness, everybody out there, thank you. If you're coming across this in any capacity, you have my heart. And yeah, I love you, and I'm wishing you the very best, and safe and happy, and or at least doing the best that we can. I think that's a good thing to say. Doing the best given our circumstances. So anyway, lots of love to you all, and I will not leave it this long next time, I promise, because this is ridiculous. And so hopefully I'll have some nice things to show you. Yeah, let me know what you're working on below, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.